one and all. Welcome back for another edition of the Average Guy's Guide to Life podcast. You know who I am, you know where you are, you know what this is. And boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to discuss. Feels like forever since I've spoken to you. I miss you guys so much. Oh, in all honesty, I was grieving over the loss of one of my heroes, R.I.P. Mamba forever. Still grieving a little, but when you're down, bury yourself in your work and drink. Do both, and that's what I'm doing. We got a lot to talk about today since it's been so long. I had a lot on my mind. And I actually took bullet points this time. I actually wanted to remember what I wanted to talk about with you guys. Because it was just a multitude of different fucking topics. Like all over the place. You know me. We're going to be talking about everything. Like everything under the sun, moon, stars, sky. Everything. Breaking Bad. Still. Point of topic. I'm going to be talking sports with some NFL, some UFC. We're going to be talking about the popularity of one of my videos for a reason that I know why. We're going to be talking about people. My favorite topic, discussing the behavioral patterns of people. Trying to figure out why people do the things that they do, And I have a theory about something. I really have a theory about something that I might end up wrapping this up with. But I wanted to start off by basically thanking all of you guys for sticking around. The folks that have listened to my work and get some entertainment value out of what I do. You enjoy the sound of my voice. Whatever it is, I don't know. Just keep listening. Keep listening. I'll always have shit to talk about and shit to poke fun at. Whatever. I'm a good person, though. I'm a good person. Like, I talk a lot of shit. Don't get me wrong. I talk a lot of shit. And usually people that say they're good people don't really mean that they're good people. That sounds like a dumb thing to say now that I've said it out loud. I'm a good person. Well, if you think you're a good person, you should be. Usually it's other people that say that you're a good person, but I try. That's what I'm going to say. I try to be a good person. Okay? I try. And I think I succeed. I don't have any enemies. I don't have anyone out there trying to kill me that I know of. I don't have any illegitimate children that I've fathered and abandoned. I don't have anyone knocking on my door or, throwing Molotov cocktails in my window. So I think I'm doing a good job at that. But let me tell you something. And this is gonna offend 50% of the population. Women are bad people. I hear it a lot that men are bad people. And okay, I could see that. I could see how men can be bad people. I really can. It's mostly to do with sex, though. Men will lie and manipulate and do whatever it takes, basically, to try and get in someone's pants. But if you take that away from a man, like if you make a man a eunuch and his dick is useless and he only gets to think with his head, the one on his shoulders, not the one in his pants, just cut off his dick and balls and watch how docile that thing becomes. It'll basically become a fucking dog. It's just, men are just loyal creatures that get distracted by shiny things and squishy things. But if you take that away, we're pretty much harmless. But women, on the other hand, oh, you motherfuckers are ruthless. Fucking ruthless. And I say that only because well, for those of you who don't follow along, I work with a majority of women. And I have female siblings as well. And I could see the temperament, and I understand the temperament of women for the most part. Not gonna say I'm the woman whisperer, you know, but I do understand their temperament for the most part. And women are some vindictive, catty motherfuckers. Like, they will smile in your face and plan to set you on fire the moment you walk away. Like, seriously, this shit is crazy. It's crazy. And not only that, like, men, we have beefs with each other, but we normally get over it. But women, they'll carry that shit to the grave almost. And then you relish in someone else's misery to the point that I've never seen anything like this before. Like, you relish in someone not getting what they want. It's like, see someone fall on their face that you don't like, or someone fall on their face that you just indifferent about. You're like, ha, dumb bitch. That's what you get. Especially with each other. Like, I don't know any woman that have a real woman friend. Like, I mean a real woman friend. Like a real friend. Someone that you can be the same person you with to them with other people. Come on now, you know I'm not fucking lying. Come on. You know I'm not lying. Because you may think you have a best friend. But then you got someone else that you're around that talks about that best friend, and you just be like, yeah, they are like that. Yeah, that bitch is always broke. Yeah, that bitch begged too much. Yeah. Yeah, that bitch do got a lot of kids. It's like, for men, for the most part, we don't do all that gossiping and the cattiness and all that shit. Like, we're pretty much the same in any circle of friends that we have. But women are like fucking chameleons, bro. Like, you turn into whatever person you're around. Like, I want to meet a woman. Like, seriously, if you're one of my female listeners, and if you have a genuine friend that you have no cattiness with, no gossiping about, and you can be that same transparent person you are with them to anyone without changing your demeanor, I want to know who you are. I want to meet you. Because maybe you might be one of a kind. You might be the new breed of female species. We need to start breeding with you. That sounds right. But the reason I bring this up is because, like I stated earlier, I do work with a majority of women, right? Now, we were planning to hire someone. I don't know if I should say this. They may be listening. Ah, fuck it. I don't care. What the fuck do I care? It's First Amendment, freedom of speech. So we were planning to hire someone to work in my department, literally right next to me, to my right. And I saw this person interview. And on a scale from 1 to 10, she was maybe like 125. Something like that. It was like blowing anyone in that building out of the water. They didn't stand a chance. Like, by comparison, like, on one plate you got, a perfectly cooked steak, and on the other plate, someone just shat in it. Like a wet, brownish green shit on the other plate. So she was a rating 10-10, okay? And she got hired. Planning to start within the next couple weeks. I kept my excitement bottled. Of course, I'm not going to act like a fucking douche. But on the inside, of course, I was like, yay! someone fucking attractive to work with, someone nice to look at. Finally. Like, I don't care if they hate my guts, but still, this is a nice change of pace. But the news came around today, around the time I was getting ready to vacate the motherfucking premises, that this person accepted the gig 2 weeks ago, but now has declined and is refusing the position. And when I got told this, the ogre that sits next to me had the most glee in her eyes and on her face that I've ever seen. And you might think I'm being harsh by using the word ogre. Maybe I should use, I don't know, orc, ghoul, goblin, fucking troll person, goddamn plus size Chucky doll. Like, that is probably the best description. The plus size Chucky doll. Not the new Chucky, like the 1990s Chucky doll. And it's a woman, so mind you. So the orc, you know, oh, she looked like that pig monster from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Swear to God, like, that's a perfect description. Like, put a red wig on that pig monster. That's exactly what you like. Which one is that? Bebop or Rocksteady? The bitch look like Bebop or Rocksteady. One of them. And the glee on her face just was like, why are you taking so much enjoyment out of this person turning down the job? Is it for your own insecurity? Or is it because you knew that there would not be another attractive woman that I could possibly look at? Since I ain't got shit to look at here but the fucking wall and computer screen. I mean, there is something. But, you know, we'll get to that later. So, women, y'all are something. Y'all are something else. I swear. But men not perfect either. Men are very far from perfect. I'm a man, so I know this. I know the demons in my head I have to fucking quiet. On occasion. Frequent occasion. I have to tell these demons to shut the fuck up. Okay, I know. It's nice. Yeah, it looks nice. I know. You know, you can't do that. You can't, no groping. You can look. Don't stare. No. Okay, be mindful. These are other people. But men aren't perfect. Okay. I mean, speaking of work, I had to break up a fight at my job. Mind you, I don't work on a construction site, one of those really manly jobs. I mean, partially, it's like half and half, okay? But I work in the office portion. I work in the office because I'm important. And in the break room, I hear trigger words. And if you're from the hood, like I am, don't get it twisted, because I put on my professional voice. But if you're from the hood, like I am, you know what trigger words are. You know, square up being one of those trigger words. What you gonna do? You know, another trigger phrase. So I hear a group of these words coming out of the break room, and once I hear the second grouping of trigger words, we'll square up then. Okay, I get up out my chair, go into the break room, and they literally almost nose to nose getting ready to box in the break room right next to the office with the VP of the fucking company in the office meeting with someone. And these two black guys. So out of the kindness of my heart, instead of just letting them both fight like dumbasses with their sloppy fighting technique and then get fired and be butthurt and then get broken up with by their baby mother and put out on the street and end up being homeless eventually and a deadbeat dad and then have to do heroin and sell heroin to get by, Now you're on drugs and you're a fucking drug dealer, and eventually you end up going to jail. You get 5 to 10 and you got the fucking shakes because you're in jail, and you're also going through withdrawals, and you meet someone in there named Russ, and Russ is about 6'4", 320 pounds, and he say, I like the way you look. Next thing you know, you're getting your ass clapped by Russ, all because it was all because you wanted to fight at the job. So to prevent any of that from happening, I broke it up. The bigger guy he really didn't want to fight. I saw it in his eyes. He really didn't want to fight. And in his mannerisms, he wasn't about that. And the skinnier guy, he didn't want to fight either. He just wanted to act tougher, So I pushed them apart. Big guy comes charging, wants to get past me. I literally have to show him like, hey, you big, but you ain't strong, motherfucker. So I had to pick him up, open the door, basically carry his ass out the break room, like up the stairs, to break up the fight. And that's what men do. So men ain't perfect, We some flawed motherfuckers too. Like, we violent, impulsive, over-sexualized, demanding, manipulative motherfuckers. If left to our own devices. If we don't have anyone there to show us the route, or if we're not mentally strong enough to make our own way and to follow a straight and narrow path, because that's lame, right? Because good guys finish last. So if you're not mentally strong enough, men can be fucking dirtbags. And quite honestly, like I said, if you don't snip that man balls and dick and make him docile, that's literally what's on a man's mind all the fucking time. If they parts still work. If the juice is still flowing, still pumping out children and whatnot. That's what the fuck men think about. I'm not even gonna lie. Am I in that group? Sometimes. I'm not gonna pretend and put myself on a pedestal above the rest of my gender. Nah. I'm honest. Like, of course, you see something that look nice, it's like a flash. It's like you got hit in the face with a rock or something. Like, oh, damn, shit, ow. But normally, if you're a decent person, you come back to reality. But most men don't. They're stuck in this vicious cycle of, I gotta fuck something, and I'm only a good, strong, capable man if I'm fucking the most, and I have to brag about who I'm fucking, and what I'm fucking has to meet a standard so I can brag to my boys that I'm fucking this. You ain't fucking this. Look at what you fucking. What you fucking don't look like this. So they fucking judge their manhood based on that, and that's flawed thinking. It's flawed thinking, but a lot of men do think like that. And I don't believe in this toxic masculinity bullshit, but if it were true, if that made up thing were true, men valuing sex the way that we do, that would be a part of that made up thing, if it were true. But that would be generalizing, because I know most men do value sex, and we are sexual creatures. Women are too. But most men aren't fucking perverts. A lot of men are, but most men aren't. Okay? With that being said, my most popular video lately was one I titled Group Sex. So I might have to rechange. What the fuck? I might have to rethink that position, seeing as though group sex, I don't think people of the female variety are looking on YouTube typing in group sex. What kills me though is that you have to know that this isn't a porn site, right? You have to know that. Like this is YouTube, and you're typing in group sex. So I'm guessing these were older men that didn't know how the internet worked. Maybe they typed in YouTube but meant to type in you porn and wasn't baffled by the layout. It didn't look like you porn, but they still typed in group sex anyway. And they found my podcast and was like, oh, black and white guy laying back on a recliner. He's about to get it. I'm going to click on this. Start the fapping. Yeah, but that's my most popular video. And I know I can't blame women for that. Can't blame women for that. Well, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't judge. I do judge, but I judge fairly. Okay? Everybody fucking judges. I'm just the only person here that's brave enough to say I do. Fuckers. That girl looked like Bebop or Rocksteady. Swear to God. I'm not lying. That's not a judgment. That's just a factual evaluation of someone's appearance. Okay? So like that pig monster from the Power Rangers. Remember that? Damn, that's so mean. But let me stop being mean. And I'm gonna poke some fun at myself, okay? I'm gonna allow you guys to make fun of my vulnerability right now. Because I've been fucking crushing. Like, I'm grown as fuck. With a crush. With a crush. I can't believe this. Like, I don't crush on nobody. Nobody. I haven't crushed on anyone since I was 9 years old. I shit you not. When I was 9 years old, my grandmother used to watch old television shows, but my young brain, I didn't understand that these shows weren't on television anymore. So I'm thinking this is real life. You know, I'm thinking not only is the TV show still current, these people are actually real people. And it's just a camera, they're following their lives. My young naive brain, I'm like, you know, damn, this George Jefferson person is a dick. I hope I never run into him. You know, this Fred Sanford guy is cranky. Hope I never run into this guy. uh, so my crush when I was 9 years old, and I used to make it appointment television. I shit you not. My grandmother used to watch Good Times, and I forget what time it came on, but it used to come on this channel called WCIU, Channel 26. And whenever I heard that theme song, good time, good time, you need a man, good time, anytime you need a man. You know what I'm saying? So I would dart from wherever I was in the house just to watch it, hoping that they played a small variety of episodes featuring Penny. And for anyone who don't know the character Penny, Penny was Janet Jackson when she was a kid. I had the biggest crush on Janet Jackson when she was a kid. I thought she was so cute with my little 9-year-old brain, you know. And I used to just sit there and I'd be fucking pissed. I'd throw a temper tantrum if they were showing an episode that she wasn't in. You know, I'd sit there and wait for the whole episode. Maybe she's gonna pop up now. Maybe she's gonna pop up now. Maybe she's gonna pop up now. And I sat there for the whole 30 minutes and she didn't show up once. I'm like, motherfucker, I just wanted to see Penny. Fuck JJ. You care what he doing in these grown folks? Of course, now that I'm older, you know. Velma. Yeah, but I have to get a definition for all these sound effects I make. But yeah, back when I was a kid, Penny was the Penny, man. It was Penny. But now that I'm a fucking adult, I have not one but two crushes Two, two. Me, I am such a fucking contrarian. I'm so counterculture. I don't idolize any singer, actress, none of that shit. Like the closest thing I came to a crush from a celebrity standpoint was when I was 15 years old, 15 or 16. I used to love Angelina Jolie. But that was only for like one summer or some shit. Like one school year. Then I realized, I'm never gonna fucking meet this person. So what am I doing with my life? I need to find a real girl. So that was the closest thing in between time. So between 9 to now, I've had a semi crush when I was 16. But it's a full blown crush now, two of them. And one is a fucking celebrity. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know her celebrity status. She's a comedian. I find her quirky. Not laugh out loud funny, but comical and quirky. But so fucking cute to me for some reason. Like even hearing me say cute, cute. It sounds so fucking gay. Not gay in a homosexual dick in the butt kind of way. I don't have anything against those folks. I'm good with you guys. I have friends that do that, like that shit. I mean gay in like a weird, not right kind of way. Like cute. But she is. She's so fucking cute. She's adorable. And sexy at the same time, which is hard to pull off. Talking about Nora from Queens. Nora from Queens. Aquafina. You know who that is? Fucking love that lady. Fucking love that lady, man. I'd buy her a ring. Give her all the nice stuff. But yeah, man. I don't know why I just told you that. I just made myself extremely vulnerable to you. So go ahead. Make your fun. I'll wait. Alright. Hope you got that out of your system. I'm not telling you who my second crush is because it's actually a real person. I probably don't have a chance with this person anyway, but it's nice to look and it's nice to dream and imagine. Yeah, you can't take that away from me, can you, God? Can you, God? You've taken everything else, everything I've worked for. Um, but yeah, so let's move on now. Let's talk about some sports shit. So the Super Bowl is happening this weekend. I am so uninterested in this Super Bowl. I couldn't be less interested in this Super Bowl. Well, I could be. I could be if the Packers were in it. If the Packers were in it, I'd just omit sports for the month. But luckily, the Packers aren't in it. Like if it was either the Packers or the Cowboys, I wouldn't even fucking entertain sports. I would be talking around it. But I guess I'm semi interested in this game, not because I'm rooting for anyone. I'm just rooting against a narrative, and I'm not rooting against this team or the player, the star player for this team. And I think you already know which way I'm leaning when I say that. But I'm rooting against the narrative that sports coverage and sports media, they're making this out to be something that it isn't. There was a conversation this morning, and I shit you not. It was a conversation on FS1, a sports network, talking if the Chiefs are going to be a dynasty because they have Patrick Mahomes. Okay, come on now. Y'all gotta pump the fucking brakes here. Pump the fucking brakes. What are you talking about, dynasty? This is football, the most parody-rich sport in the world. Like, come on. Aaron Rodgers is probably someone's number one quarterback of all time. He's not mine, but he's A lot of people's number one quarterback, like the most talented quarterback they've ever seen. Did he have a dynasty? Go ahead, blame his coaching, blame his defense. Okay, that's football. That's football. Maybe Andy Reid isn't going to be there forever. Maybe Andy Reid retires. Maybe the defense sucks like it has been. Maybe he doesn't have the offensive weapons that he's been used to since his young ass career began. Come on now. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Dynasty. What about Dan Marino? Dan Marino didn't get one of them motherfuckers. He was the most talented quarterback anyone has ever seen up to that point. And on the flip side, what about Troy Aikman? You look at Troy Aikman's numbers, they aren't astounding. They don't blow you out of the water, but I think Troy got what? 3 of them motherfuckers? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Football is one of those things in one of these sports where you will step on your own foot, shoot your own self in the face trying to predict some shit. Just don't. Just don't. Enjoy the game for what it is. You know, when I became a Patriots fan 2 decades ago, it wasn't because I thought they were going to be a dynasty. They were the underdogs back then, and I gravitated to them. Even all these years later, I can't believe that they won as much as they have. I've been spoiled in that regard as a sports fan. Spoiled as fuck, you know? But that doesn't happen in football. That doesn't happen. Peyton Manning, where is his dynasty? You saw how long that motherfucker had to play to get 2 with 2 different teams. So I'm not going to watch this game rooting for anyone. I just want to abandon the fucking narrative that the Chiefs are borderline dynasty material, and we've only seen them in the past 50 years make it this far twice. What the fuck? Since people like numbers so much, look at that fucking number. This is the first time they make the Super Bowl in 50 years. And last year, they were supposed to make it. They were supposed to make it. Well, guess what? They didn't. Sports ain't a world of supposed to. It's about points. Who scored the most? Guess what? Last year they didn't. They didn't score enough points to win. Need to cut this shit out. Need to cut this shit out. Damn. And I know that's their job. I know it's their job to come up with topics and talking points to get people in discussion. I understand it. But we live in a world of logic here. And everyone that's a fucking football fan knows what they see. That's a smart football fan. They know what they see. And their eyes don't lie. It changes every fucking year. Last year, the Bears were 1 missed field goal away from the NFC Championship game. This year, they didn't even make the playoffs. Come on now. And basically the same roster. You can't predict football, man. You can't predict it. That'd be like, sticking your dick with no rubber into a hooker. You're just taking a chance. You're just rolling the dice. You're like, man, it feels better without one, so fuck it. I don't know if that analogy works, but you get where I'm heading, okay? No pun intended. But enough of this fucking football topic. It's irritating. Fucking irritating. Another thing that's irritating, though, I like more sports talk, but another thing that's irritating with the coverage is how this UFC topic has come up in mainstream sports media because of Stephen A. Smith's controversial remarks following the Cowboy Conor fight. Now, I'm not particularly against Stephen A. covering mixed martial arts. I'm not against him doing the post-fight coverage or the pre-fight coverage. I'm not against it. But what I would like is for him to educate himself. Him and everyone else that works at ESPN that can't even fucking pronounce the fighters' names. Cowboy Cerrone. It's not his fucking name. It's Donald Cowboy Cerrone. You know, people that can't even pronounce the fighters' names, don't know events, don't know stats, don't know current fighters, don't know rankings. You don't know technique versus technique. You don't know strengths and weaknesses. You don't know, the names of the holds or the maneuvers, positions. Like, educate yourself before you open your mouth and talk anything about the sport of mixed martial arts. That's all I'm saying. And it's not just him. And I love Dan Le Batard. Love him. When he's not on his show, I don't listen. Sorry, Stugotz. But if he's not there, I don't listen. His laugh is infectious. Love that man. He always sounds like he's full of helium and he's slowly leaking it out in cracks, one gasp at a time. Love that guy. And I know you've probably been watching for a long time too, Mr. Dan, but your takes, and I know you're not backing Stephen A. Smith's comment about Cowboy quitting. That's basically what he said. For those of you who haven't followed this incident, the controversial remarks Stephen A. Smith made were that after the 42nd win of Conor over Cowboy, Stephen A. Smith stated that you didn't learn anything about Conor McGregor in that win and that Cowboy basically folded. Right? Which, number one, you've learned a lot about Conor. Like, I don't even think I need to reiterate this. Conor showed he's game. Conor showed he's a monster. Conor showed he still has power and he still has a ring presence. Did Cowboy fold? I don't know. Maybe he just got hit in the face really hard and he was disoriented. Does he have a history of not winning big fights? Yes, but it's the fight game. The biggest fights are normally going to be against the toughest competition. So sometimes you lose. It's the toughest competition. But that says something about Cowboy, that he's always in those big fights and he's always fighting the toughest competition. Jorge Masvidal has gotten a lot of praise nowadays for his ascension. But has he always been fighting the top level competition? I wouldn't say so. He beat Darren Till, granted. I'll give you that. Darren Till was ascending, coming off a loss to Tyron Woodley, but he was still seen as the future. So that win, you can't take that away from him. That flying knee against Ben Askren, I don't know. That's one of those flash things where you hit someone and, one swing the other way, it goes a different way, and you're in a fight. So you did see that he was preparing for that, but Ben Askren, I don't think he was still in his prime, and the competition level of the UFC at that time wasn't something that he was prepared for. And his last win against Nate Diaz, a career 500 fighter, and come on. And like I was saying, Mr. Dan Le Batard, I know that you think that the UFC is, human cockfighting. But if that is your take, and if you were to do a post-fight analysis of it, I would trust your word and what you saw more than what Stephen A. Smith said. Even though your description of mixed martial arts in the UFC, I don't agree with. I think it's the most, I believe this is the sport with the highest risk tied to it. I think this is the purest of sports, seeing as that it's just you in there and you're literally using your body to win and incapacitate another person. Like, this is the purest form of sport. So, I don't know. Let me stop fucking ranting on these assholes. I probably done turned everyone off now at this point. Everyone's like, what the fuck? Can you shut the fuck up talking about NFL and UFC? I love it, guys. I fucking love it. Fucking love it. But, yeah, Dan Le Batard, he has a little bit more respect for me in discussing MMA because he has a little bit more knowledge. But Stephen A. Smith, just educate yourself. And everyone who wants to be covering mixed martial arts in the UFC that works for ESPN, just fucking educate yourselves before you make a fool of yourself and make a fool of our sport. Stop mispronouncing names. Jesus Christ. Like, before they get hired to do on these pre or post things, they should get a, what do you call it? They should get a survey where they're asked a series of questions about the modern state of the UFC. Just what happened within the past 5 years. Just random questions about what happened within the past 5 years. If they can answer those, then they deserve to be on that panel. If not, kick them motherfuckers to the curb. You need to find somebody else. I'm just saying. Holy shit. I've already been doing this for close to an hour. Okay. I wanted to cover some Breaking Bad. Fuck it. I'll cover some Breaking Bad. Real quick. There's an episode, I believe in season 3, where, and spoiler alert, come on now. Fuck, you ain't seen Breaking Bad yet? Fuck. Crawl from under your wet rock. God damn. But spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it. So the episode basically goes like this. Walt has chosen his family over cooking, right? And Jesse has cleaned himself up and now he wants to cook. He's affirmed he's the bad guy, so he's gonna fucking cook. Gus uses Jesse to bait Walt into cooking again. Basically, he bought some of Jesse's product, gave Jesse half the money, and unknowingly gave Walter half the money. Now, if you know what episode I'm talking about, this is where I might lose you. Because every time I go back and watch this show, all these years later, I learn something new. And something new from a writer's perspective and a character building perspective. Walter White is an onion of a character. Jesus Christ, does he have a lot of layers. Now, the scene I want to focus on is the scene where Gus is meeting with Walt. And Walt is discussing what Gus tried to do. And he's saying, I know that you basically think that you can goat me here by buying Jesse's product, an inferior product. You think you can play with my ego and think I have some proprietary means over this formula. And Gus is just sitting there listening. Gus is just a fucking genius. So this is what I wanted to get at here. Because Walt, he eventually does decide that he's going to cook again, right? But this is what I wanted to break down. Gus uses Jesse to bait Walt into cooking. And he thinks that Walt's ego will not allow him to buy from Jesse. But what he didn't know was that not only was Walt's ego at play, not only was his jealousy at play, his admitted respect for chemistry, but his need for power and control. So he has all these layers: his envy, his rage, him wanting to control what happens and where things go. That scene right there, if you know which one I'm talking about, go back and watch it. That scene basically sealed both of their fates. When Gus decided that he wanted Walt back to sell his product, the best product, and Walt deciding that he wants to make meth instead of letting Jesse do it, that sealed both of their fates. He turned his back on his family and gave in to Heisenberg. That sealed both of their fates, that one scene. He could have walked away, let Jesse handle it, had more than enough money for the rest of his life. But the ego, man, the ego is a very fragile, very fickle thing. And that leads me to my closing remarks. I got this theory that I call the broken person theory. And it boils down to being an egoless individual in an ego-filled world. And what do I mean by that? I basically mean that so many of us have intentions that aren't genuine or true. Negative people with bad intentions, nihilistic people, pessimistic people, manipulative people, people that aren't real with themselves or others as much as they could be. Or people with underlying intentions in everything that they do. Everything that they do, they're looking out for themselves. And it's nothing wrong with that on the surface, but if that is your character to your bone, then yeah, you may need some help. So the broken person is a person that lives without ego. A person that is positive for the sake of being positive and has nothing negative to say about anyone, especially people that they don't know. And only judge those that they do know by what they've seen, what they've experienced. I am a broken person. Not gonna lie. Broken for a multitude of reasons. But you have to reach the point of being broken. You have to endure some hardships maybe. Maybe you have to go through life-changing experiences. You have to reach a crossroads or something. You have to meet something. Maybe I have an out of body experience where your ego just dissolves and you become a broken person and you rebuild yourself to where your ego is stable and you have a steady belief in yourself, but you don't alienate others. And you have the purest of intentions with everyone you meet, everywhere you go. Be broken, people. Go break yourself. Okay? Before I break my foot off in your ass. Peace, bitch!